Who are you to doubt El Daniel?
This is Robbie Eagles.
This is the loosest in Australian wrestling, Adam Brooks.
Hi, this is Mimic. This is 5 times the world's heavyweight champion, the Scrap Daddy himself, Scrap Iron Adam Pearce.
This is Brian Alvarez, and you are listening to Wrestle Radio Australia.
Welcome to the show, folks. My name is Josh Armour, and thanks very much for downloading Wrestle Radio Australia. This is our first episode.
Oh, yeah! G'day, this is Big Brody Marshall.
This is Brian Alvarez.
This is Dean Brady of the Millennials.
This is the Jurassic Punk Sid Parker.
How many of you guys have heard the term kayfabe?
Hello, doggers. This is Jay Hunter from OSW Review.
This is Matt Grim Basso.
This is the loosest in Australian wrestling, Adam Brooks.
This is Scrap Iron Adam Pearce, and you are locked in
to Wrestle Radio Australia.
I in the game, I'm champion, I'm Triple H. Undertaker, I'm your maker, bury the brother like Kane. Ooh, 1-3, hit the tombstone, hit the choke slam on face. Ooh, yeah, like a macho heel, tell like I'm muscle. If you sell a lot of tomatoes, I'ma keep a couple models. Ooh, and you may call me HBK. When I'm tuning up the vein, you best be getting in my way. Ooh, yeah, I'm degenerate, I love it, yes, I love it. If you ain't down with that, then I got two as well, you suck it. Too sweet, put your fangs up. Too sweet, hold another cup. Let's be busy, 23, got me feeling way too sweet.
I was trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit, and it was just awful.
I've turned chicken salad into chicken shit. I will continue to do so.
Here I was, blaming AEW for feeding you chicken shit, knowing you mindless millennials would be eating it up as if it were chicken salad, when it's really been your fault all along.
Make chicken salad out of chicken shit. People is as people does, that's all there is to it. But a square peg in a round hole just never seems to fit. And you
This is Bianca Belair.
Hey, this is Kevin Owens.
Hey, it's Seth freaking Rollins.
It is the man, Becky Lynch.
It's Rhea Ripley here, and you're listening to Wrestle Radio Australia.
Good evening, friends, and welcome to Australia's longest running wrestling podcast. That's right, it's Todd Eastman's House of Shaking Heads. It's making chicken salad, part of the Wrestle Radio.
I've had a major accident.
Okay, part of the it's making chicken salad, part of the Wrestle Radio Australia network. With me, I guess I can say as always, because with me as always is the newest edition of Wrestle Radio Australia. That's right, it's the man who owns Perth. So if you want to complain about WWE going to Perth, just get on to him. It's Jamie Apps. How you doing, Jamie?
When did I purchase Perth?
I was going to say, when did that acquisition happen?
It was an engagement gift.
Maybe.
How you going? Good. And also joining us.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Is the man you heard had a big whoopsie before we began. That's right. It's Wrestle Radio's Australia own crown jewel. It's Todd Eastman, Beastie. How are you, mate?
Oh, mate, you wouldn't believe.
Very damp, apparently.
As we're about to go onto air, right, my camera just happened to tilt a bit. So I've gone to fix it. And as I've gone to fix it, I've just knocked my glass of Coke just all over the table. Literally all over the table. So
and
all you literally, as we came to air, that's why you hear me go, oh, fuck.
I should explain that about 5 minutes ago, Todd was like, I won't delay the start, but I'll just run off and get a drink and snacks. So the drink's gone, mate.
Yeah. Fucking hell. It is everywhere. The drink is every friggin' way. I didn't even know there was this much in the glass.
It's going to be very sticky by the end of this episode.
Speaking of class, class. We had a look at Renegades of Wrestling's Uprising, their latest show, held in the home of Renegades. They're in Essendon, the Essendon Town Hall. Let's go through the show match by match, shall we? We opened with Matty Romano coming out, arm in a sling, and saying, unfortunately, I can't wrestle. The Musketeer came out. Rare to see the Musketeer as a heel, normally a babyface, but I think he worked quite well and challenges. He's Matty's opponent for the night. And he says, no, I need a match. And out comes Ant Cover. It makes pretty quick work of the Musketeer. Jamie, what did you think of this one?
Not bad. I probably wouldn't have opened with this. I think it was a good showcase for Cover. Very sports entertainment overall for this show, really. And it's cool to see Cover kind of transitioning into a face role, because I've only ever kind of seen him as a heel.
He's actually beginning to be a bit of a face in a lot of territories at the moment. Ant himself is quite a funny guy, and he's got a nice kind of charisma, sort of very much a throwback 80s charisma. Yep. But yeah, he's a good guy, Cover, and I think I agree with you. This was a great showcase for him. Hey, Coke Man.
Yeah, my friend. I'm here. I am here. I'm
here.
I'm carrying on through the flood relief.
According to Nick Galea, the flood relief. I've got word that Albo's on his way. It'll be fine. Evil Musketeer is hilarious, and this match really lit the crowd up, says Nick. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. What did you think of Cover against the Musketeer, Todd?
I would have liked Musketeer to get a little bit of something.
Yeah, that's fair.
Apart from his promo, it felt like he got nothing. He just got killed by fucking Cav after that. Which, it's fair enough if you want to really. If your idea is to push, your idea is you're pushing Cav, to the moon, then they've obviously did a good job here. But if he's still going to be that mid-card babyface, then you could have given Musketeer a little bit of heel. One-upsmanship, just to get a little bit of heat before Cover overpowers him and then goes through to the win. It just felt very I put my head down to take a note and I put my head back up and he was already in the cover lock. The what's his name? Torture rack.
The cover.
And I was like, oh, okay. I guess that's the match then. It was just very quick.
That's kind of what I kind of opened with it, because it was such a squash. It was very one-sided. And it took a while to even get to the match. So it was very easy for people. If you are only watching Renegades for the first time or something on YouTube, you're like, oh, this is too much before the matches even start. And then the match is so one-sided, you're like, okay.
And Nick Galea mentions that Renegades and Wrestle Rock are basically mixed as one fed. Musketeer is getting a bigger role as a wet blanket heel. I'm sure he's very good at that, particularly at Wrestle Rock. Second match of the night, another quick one, 6 minutes, 9 seconds for Sam Yanis to defeat Kobe Reed with Will Walker in his corner. Sam still has a title shot to claim, and that will become important in just a moment. Todd, what did you think of Sam and Kobe?
Look, I'm going to be maybe a little bit different from you guys here. I wasn't a massive fan of it because they did every move they could possibly think of under the sun in 6 minutes and sold fucking nothing of it. Do you know what I mean? In the space of 6 minutes, you had what? It was a heat seeker, a heat seeker pin, a couple of moves off the top rope. What else did they hit? Dives to the outside. All of this in 6 minutes. I'm like, hey guys, you are allowed to lock up. You can throw one of those in. You don't have to hit everyone with 500 fucking Canadian destroyers and kick out of everyone in the second match. It felt like it was literally like, okay, we got 6 minutes. Let's do every move we know that's a high spot. Because after this match, I'm like, I don't know what the rest of this card's going to be able to do because they do everything.
Yeah, I understand and kind of agree with your point there. Jamie, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I see that as well. And I think they also had outside interference. They had Dylan. Is Dylan a heel ref? So they had that play in.
No, he just gets booed.
He gets booed
he just
for
gets
not
booed.
being Emin.
Okay. Because, he wasn't.
It's hard. It's hard when you're not Emin.
But he wasn't calling any of the outside interference either. So it was kind of like they had all of these elements thrown into a 6 minute match where it was maybe a bit too much.
It was.
Yeah, I get you.
I think Kobe has improved significantly, and he's clearly putting in the work outside the ring and in the gym and everything. But yeah, tone it back a little bit.
The moves are great, and like they are really good. But just because you know all the moves doesn't mean you should do all the moves in the space of 6 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like you've got 6 minutes. Let's tell a story here. Let's not just go, okay, I can do this flip. Can you do this flip? Okay, I can do this. I can do that. It just felt like it was more of a, well, they only gave us 6 minutes, so we'll show them. That's what it felt like from someone who works behind the scenes. That's what it felt like to me. I was watching going, what are you trying to prove a point?
Especially when Sam has a title match coming up, you kind of want him to get more in than Kobe and show that he belongs.
There was a book I read or a shoot interview or something where whoever it was said, wrestling isn't the moves. Wrestling is everything else but. The moves are just your punctuation throughout the match. And I felt there was no everything else but, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So there was no heel work from Kobe to turn around and give the crowd the finger and get some more heat on himself. And there was no celebration from Sam. It was just everything we can do, as you said, Todd, crammed into 6 minutes, and let's make this, as much as possible. And I was a bit overwhelmed as well. But Nick says it was fine live. It did feel like a showcase for Sam, but he went out of his way to try and give Kobe as much as he could, maybe too much. I just think that they could have slowed down a little bit, no?
I feel like it was the dictionary definition of the word inderific.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have done half as much and achieved twice as much story-wise.
100%. Like you've got that other guy out there, and they used the distraction thing. I don't know why you just leaned on that more instead of going for 1,000 moves.
From there was a promo spot with Lockie Hector and Sebastian Walker. Lockie Hector, Sam, and Sebastian Walker. You've got your Coke back. I'm glad to see it.
No, wow. This is how much went out of it. The thing was full.
And as Nick is saying, to be fair, this type of go wrestling isn't uncommon. No, that's completely
it's not.
good.
It doesn't mean that I like it. No. Just because it's not common.
I felt, and I'll speak first. I felt this was a bit ham-fisted. I felt that this could have been achieved so much easier if it was like trimmed a few minutes. It just felt a bit clunky and ham-fisted. Essentially, if you haven't seen the show, which is free on YouTube, I might add, totally free on YouTube. Lockie and Sam both have the right to a title shot, and they're going to have a match at the next show, title shot versus title shot, and whoever wins will get the title shot. It's a good way to clear that up. It's a good way to kind of put a coda on the both of them having title shots. But I just felt that the promo didn't entirely work. Todd, your thought?
I completely agree with that. It just felt like it dragged, and I feel at that spot of the show, especially when they did what they do after it, I'm like, why are we doing this back to back?
And what we started with as well, with like a promo spot to start the first match, promo spot after the second match, into another promo spot.
I don't know why you don't do what was next. I don't know why you don't do that between the scramble match and the world title match.
Yeah, it made sense. It absolutely made sense. I felt that this also, and to be fair, no, this wouldn't have led us into a break. Yeah, it was a very promo heavy show. It really was.
Mainly the first half.
Yeah, the first half was.
Yeah, it was the first half.
very heavily front end loaded with promos, and then the back end was actually quite enjoyable to watch.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But then we did have a long segment, maybe not a promo, but a long segment. Andy from Vance says, I thought this promo highlighted how much more developed the heels are in Renegades. They basically have no baby faces that anyone cares about after Mitch. No, that's absolutely not true. They've got Ugg, they've got Crackers, they've got Gore.
Cavers
People
coming
caring
along.
about those. Matty Romano is one of the most over young people in Melbourne, and he's a baby face at Renegades. So I think, you know, and as you said yourself, Andy, the OLY, Jake Andrew Arthur. So, you know, I think
but like there is a difference between like a Jake being over and a Mitch being over, because you're never really going to see Jake in that character as the world champion.
True.
So, and even at this point, you can't even really say you could see Crackers at this point as the world champion.
Yeah, you could see Gore.
Because what he does is so different. Yeah, you could see Gore, but it's still very different to everything. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think it's the image that like Renegades want to push to with the title of the young up and comers getting opportunities to then toss it on Crackers would be weird.
Yeah, 100%.
As Nick said, to be fair, if anyone is familiar with the Essendon shows previously, they traditionally were very story heavy. Yeah, I think they still did a bit too much in storyline here. I really do. So speaking of the next spot and speaking of Jake Andrew Arthur, OLY, came out to break the record in aeroplane spins, to break the world record, just because he's already got 400 world records and he needs a couple more. And he picked up referee Dylan and started doing it really carefully and slowly, we might add, very carefully and slowly, making sure that Dylan was okay every step. But it was getting a huge pop. And JXT came out with the J-stick and waffled in with it. I think this was a good heel turn. JXT was getting negative reactions the show before, so that the fact that they're diving into it is really good. And I note that they've kind of separated him from Phil in that turn.
Yeah, you have to with that, really.
What did you think of this segment, Todd?
I think if it didn't follow the segment before, I probably really would have loved it. But I liked it for what it was. But I think about halfway through, I'm just like, when are we actually going to have a match here? Like, is this going to actually become a match, or is it just a beatdown?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yep.
But the spot for itself was good, and it was a good turn, like for JXT, because he didn't have the mic, but he was loud enough that you could hear him with the camera talking about why he was doing this. Why he's like, this is the dude you cheer for, this guy, this idiot that's dressed up like this.
Yeah.
When I've worked my ass off for years for you, and this is all you like. I like that.
Well, I mean, JXT and I had a chat just privately. He was on the show the next night. He was on Brainia the next night. That was a banger. And I said, "Oh, you turned heel last night?" And he said, "Yes." He said, when you realize I haven't had a singles match in Renegades, there's a motivation." And I went, holy shit, you haven't. And he's a great singles wrestler. He really is. So this will be interesting to see. Jamie, what did you think of this, mate?
I am really into JXT going heel. Like, I really like JXT as a babyface, but I think he's like just that natural heel in him is deep down in there. And I think it's going to be much more compelling to see him in this role now. So it was well needed, I think.
Yeah, he's a handy heel. I've seen him work heel a few times, and as Nick Galera is saying here, JXT being a darker and more serious villain is a good thing for him. And I would add in, and the audiences. Also, Phil is teaming with JXT as Fox as their blacklisted team at Mayhem this weekend. Yeah, I mean, if they want to dive into Phil being Fox at Renegades, that wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. They're a very good tag team. I rate them.
I don't know why you wouldn't, like, if you really want to get some heat on JXT, have him
beat up Phil. Yeah.
Haven't been at Phil yet.
Have Phil go, dude, what's wrong?
Yeah.
Like we've been like, I'm your best mate. Tell me what's going on. And he's like, they do the whole thing. Yeah, no, you're right. I got in my head. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Turns his back, J stick, bang, same thing.
Waffles in with the stick. Yeah, that'd be good. I mean, there's some natural matchups for JXT on the face side of the roster. So I'm really looking forward to that. Especially as Kava is now a face. Seeing those two lock up would be quite good. So, you know, I like that. I think there's a lot of opportunity there for JXT as a heel. Speaking of heels, Tyson Reed and Chloe St. James continuing to do great work. Defeated Caveman Ugg by count out. I should clarify, Chloe was not wrestling. It was Tyson Reed with Chloe St. James as in a material position, in case you think she was. In 11 minutes and 14 seconds, Jamie, what'd you think?
This one I really enjoyed. Tyson is so good as a heel. I am a big fan, and there's so much upside to him. Especially, like, I think if you gave him the right storyline, there's the sky is the limit, and a feud with Ugg was clearly it because he didn't win clean. He used the bricked bum bag, so that's like Ugg's clearly going to have a grab, and then later on we see where Tyson is going for the next show as well. So like, Tyson's right into it.
Tyson's pulling on a lot of people's strings because he's still not finishing. He's not finished his story with Gino yet. Sorry, Mr. Juicy as he is now. He's not finished the story with Juicy. So there's a bit more to go. As Nick has said,
pretty much just him being like legend killer, isn't it, at the moment?
Yeah. But evil, dirty, underhanded legend killer.
Yeah,
I love
like
it.
Original Orton.
Original Orton, exactly. Proper pro wrestling, Nick says, Ugg loses nothing, and Tyson needed that win to make him a top series guy. Exactly. Todd, what did you think?
Yeah, really, this is where the show. I'm like, okay, now we're picking up.
Now we're
some
cooking.
steam.
Yeah.
Like I was legitimately getting worried after that. I'm like, please don't tell me the rest of the show is going to be like this, because this is going to make for a hard review. Being that we always try and find some of the good things we can talk about, I'm like, this is going to be a hard review if the rest of the show was like this. I think I messaged the group. And I was like, because I only watched the first two things, I'm like, if the rest of these things are like this is going to be hard. But it definitely turned around with this match. Like, Tyson plays a great heel. He plays the heel that we want people to play as heels. Like, no redeeming features. You don't want to cheer this guy. He's just a dick. He's an asshole.
No big cool spots.
No big cool spots. He's happy to be out in front and hated. And that's what you want out of your heels. You want the crowd to go, I don't even like him. There's nothing about him I like. I just want the good guy to win. Which is very rare nowadays, really, when you look at it.
I feel that Renegades is almost at a point where they should introduce a mid-card title. And by geez, you do worse than have Tyson be the first person to hold it. You know,
and especially if he's got like all of these strings with other people going on, like you could set up where he's still just cheating, give him a whole bunch of goons and like the Eshe lad crew that just goes around and they beat people up so that he continues to win.
That's great. I love that.
But him and Chloe work so well together too as a team.
Yeah,
like they've already got that monster spot down now where they didn't actually have to do it; they could just tease it and like. Caveman, I blocked it, and it got that got the pop. Yeah, like you didn't have to do it, and it got the pop. So
it was also
smart, smart booking of the finish too.
Yeah, very smart. I was going to say it also really worked as a match. Like, I thought, honestly, oh well, here's Ugg's victory of the month because Ugg wins a lot. And then I watched the match unfold and went, well, this is pretty damn good. I'm highly entertained by this. So, that was great. That was, big pops for that. I also really, really like the ambush defeating Rapid Fire. So the ambush of Jarvis and Murdoch defeated Rapid Fire, JJ Furno and Ryan Rapid. Hey, they're not going to be a shit tag team. In 12 minutes and 5 seconds, Todd, what were your thoughts on this championship bout?
I think this was my match of the night, probably by a good distance, to be fair. The only thing I didn't like about it was the finish. Because I'm just like, why are these two guys here? Why are they helping the ambush?
Yeah.
Where's their end game for this? Like, fair enough. Like, I want to piss off Rapid Fire, but if you want to piss off, let them win and then attack them.
Yeah,
because then you get the next shot. Like, I don't see much in the way of sense when you have that guy. Like, unless they're costing them for that, like, there's a different reason behind it. But there didn't seem to be, other than, oh yes, ambush one, ha ha ha. Like, hey, dickhead, you haven't got a chance now.
Todd's never watched wrestling before. Jamie, your thoughts?
No, I agree. I thought the finish was weird.
I do agree.
Like, what?
I do agree with you. But
I think the only positive with that finish is it shows that they're building a pretty solid little tag division in Renegades. Like, the Ambush, great tag team. Rapid Fire are now established as a pretty solid tag team that have a chance of winning the titles if there's not interference. Kobe and Will are another cool tag team. Crackerjack and Gore. Like, there's plenty of options there in the tag division now. So I think that was really nice to see. And there was one crazy spot in this where I was like, whoa, the Doomsday Destroyer.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell was that?
Yeah, that was nuts.
Can we also just quietly talk about how Ryan Rapid's probably having the year of his career this year? Low key, and it's only like we're nearly halfway through the year, and he's about to step in the ring with fucking like Brooksy for the Commonwealth title. Like, every time the guy comes out now, like, he is. I hate to say it, because of the way it sounds, but it feels like he's just broken out of that PCW shackles, and now people can see who he really is.
I mean, let's be honest. No one was complimentary about MCW's clowns with Nick Moretti going back 18 months. No one. Like, it was a tough watch.
But if you remember when we said it, when they first started talking about the clowns, what was the thing I said? Like, Ryan.
Well, we all said
to get out.
If the end result is that we get Ryan Rapid,
they cracked the door open and he kicked it in. It was like,
and you know, Blake Malik, I saw Blake do some stuff on Mayhem. You know, we've watched him, and he's really growing as well. So while at the time the exposure wasn't probably what we wanted for either of them, they've learned from the situation and they've made the most out of it. Sorry, just a thought while we were mentioning how fucking good Ryan Rapid is, and he's phenomenal. I really want to see him go up against Owen Stedman at some point. I did mention that. Nicolia says, phenomenal match. People need to start noticing how good Murdoch is. He's one of the best guys for these sort of matches. I don't just think it's tag matches. He's actually a really tight worker. Mur is so good at what he does. And
it's unfortunate that he is the size he is.
Yeah, that cannonball.
If he was just that little bit taller, do you know what I mean? It's just real hard. Like, it sucks. He's an amazing worker. I've met a lot of time for Murdoch in his work.
His facial expressions are so good. He sells everything so well.
The fact that every time the camera comes close to him, if he's not doing anything, he's gawking or you know, all kinds of gurns and facial expressions. Guy's great. I'm a big fan of Murdoch, and it's a good point there, Nick. Anything to add about this match? I loved it, as you guys did.
I thought it was amazing. I thought a really good match. Smart, well thought out. Like I said, the only thing I didn't like was the finish, because I wanted to see a definitive finish between these two guys, these two teams.
Yep, so did I.
And JJ clearly learned from his trip in Japan as well. Like, he's come back better than ever as well.
JJ is so good. And that one fucking move. Wow. I mean,
watch it just for that.
Yeah. Nick Galea is tipping JJ Furno to be the breakout guy for the second half of 2025 in Melbourne. I mean, it's quite possible if he stops stealing Welchie's seat. If you know, you know. We then went on to a skit promo bit. Crackerjack's birthday bonanza. Happy birthday, Crackers, for back then. What did you think, Jamie? Sorry.
This went way too long. Why was this 11 minutes? Was that just 11 minutes for the match?
That was just the
11
match, yeah.
for the match.
Yeah, there was probably another 10 or 11 for the segment.
Yeah. Plus the aftermath.
Yeah, it was dragged. It dragged a lot.
Todd?
Yeah, you summed everything up. Like, just dragged. Like, I didn't care. Like, there were points that I just started skipping. I'm like, okay, what's the point of this?
I'm Crackers is great. Like, there's no doubt. The guy's got oodles of charisma. Gore complements him really well. They're both a talented and wonderful act. But this was way too long. This just went on and on and on. And then a match. I was like, it'll be over soon. No, there's a match now in which Mitch Connors defeated Gore with Crackerjack in 11 minutes.
Good for Mitch.
Great win for Mitch.
But then after it, no one remembers it after it, though, because of the aftermath.
Yeah. Like the Crackers promo at the very end, like that's a promo that only Crackers could get away with. And that was entertaining, but everything else was like, why?
Look, I'm going to respectfully disagree with you on that, because you had kids in the front row.
Yeah.
And he's cutting a promo about ripping someone's penis off while his partner rips the guy's urethra apart so he can shove the penis down that urethra while taking a shit on Jarvis's chest in a room full of kids.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's a kids-friendly show, not great.
This is when the point, and I was debating whether or not to say this. I feel like Renegades have an identity crisis where they don't know if they're going to be Renegades of wrestling or if they're going to be Wrestle Rock outside of a bar.
Yeah.
And they need to decide which one they're going to be and which market they're going for. Because really, if I was a parent taking my kid to that, I'd probably I don't know if I want to take him out to that again.
I could see that from turning families.
I could see
that
easily.
The dude just said, "I'm going to rip his dick off." He's going to rip his Dad. What's a urethra? Oh, fuck's sake! And then he's going to take a shit on his chest. I mean, what are we doing? I think I literally out loud go, "What the fuck are we doing here, guys?"
Yeah, I forgot about the kids in the crowd.
Yeah, and I probably wouldn't have even known there were kids in the crowd if Jake Andrew Arthur didn't point it out at the start of the show when he was trying to pick out people to do the airplane spin with, and pointed out like there was a whole row of kids in the front row. I love Crackers is amazing, and I think Crackers is good enough and smart enough where he can do something and sell a match without doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't market to kids, and when this is Andy Vance, and when parents ask, the answer is usually offensive language, parental discretion advice. I don't care about kids in the crowd. They have no right to interfere on my entertainment.
Fuck's sake.
I'm not even going to answer that. I'm just...
I hate to break this to you, brother, but if you said, we don't want any kids here, you get half the crowd you get. He's not. Kids are a driving force to take, for those types of shows. When was this show on? Was this show on a night show or was this show an afternoon show?
This was
Andy, if it's an adult show, they'd say it's fucking 18 plus. Don't be a dick. Don't be a dope.
This was
I would say it's Wrestle Rock.
PW have Black Label and Green Label. Green Label's kids, Black Label 18 plus.
Yeah.
Was this a Sunday afternoon show or was this a night show?
This was April 12, which is the first Saturday of the school holidays here in Victoria, the week before Easter.
Okay.
April 11th. So kids are going to go.
Yeah.
Kids are going to go. Accept it. And kids should not have to hear, as much as I like your Crackers, kids shouldn't have to hear some of the content that was in that promo. I agree with you.
If this was an R18 show, I would have fucking popped at that. That is the funniest shit.
Yeah.
But you've got to show that's like you've got to show that then they're clearly trying to go to a full market. Otherwise, you wouldn't be bringing Indy over.
Yeah, yeah.
You wouldn't be bringing Indy over and go, "Oh, it's just for adults. Don't bring any kids." I know that's that girl that you've seen on TV, but don't bring them. So don't bring the kids.
No, that's completely fair comment. Speaking of Indy, who is the current Renegades of Wrestling Women's Champion, the match after that, thank you.
Great.
The match after that was a scramble match for the Renegades of Wrestling title #1 contendership. Ari Nicole, Aisha, Charlie Rose, Rochelle, Rogue all went down to Tali in 8 minutes and 2 seconds. Bloody DJ brings up a very good point. Sorry to interrupt. I will get back to this match in a moment. I'm a lifelong wrestling fan, but I go to local shows for my kid, and the joy it brings them to be involved in the live action is a rare thing these days. That is a wonderful thing to hear, Bloody DJ, and also a really good counterpoint. If it doesn't say 18 plus, you've got to assume there are children in the audience, and off you go. Yeah. Every year we get a question. We get that same question every year. Can I bring my kids to WrestleBrania? And my answer, fuck no. No, my answer is always, you can do
fuck no is probably an appropriate answer.
Yeah, it probably is. My answer is always, you can do as you wish, but be aware there will be language, adult themes, and violence. Every year I get that question, and every year it is the same answer. But we still do our show the way our show is.
Yes. Yeah. But anyway, digress into this match because this match was dead.
Anyway, this was good. Todd, what'd you think?
Very decent match. I've never seen Ari Nicole before, and I think she's got a lot of potential as well. So she did not look out of place with these girls who have been like wrestling for a while. Do you know what I mean? Like that have had experience. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So it was, I'm interested to see how she goes going forward. But I enjoyed the match, and even the little, like the quasi face turn with Aisha at the end. I say quasi because we're not quite sure yet.
It's Aish. You know.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. It's Aish. Jamie, what did you think, man?
I was the same. I hadn't seen Ari before. Obviously, this was her Renegades debut, and I thought she was very impressive on debut. A lot of upside. And I said the same thing there. Aisha, like, slowly turning face is really interesting. I don't know how far into that they're going to go because she is such a natural heel.
Interestingly, in PCW, she debuted as a face. She was a face for a lot of years before RB4K came along. So, it'll be interesting to see. I very much agree with you both. I think Ari Nicole was a good find. As Nick has said, Ari is very, very new, like less than a dozen matches, I believe, really looks the part. Yeah, she looks great. I think that good on Renegades for taking a chance on someone.
I was going to say, where is she training out of?
I think she's probably she might be with Carlo, because I don't think she's with Mayhem, so she might be with Carlo. I think she's got a huge future. I like this a lot. I think the fact that Charlie and Rochelle, she's a PCW student, correction.
PCW student.
Thank you, Nick. I think the fact that Charlie and Rochelle almost kind of went to blows, but then they were fine. I like that. There were a lot of nice little stories being told through this match, and I think Tali put some really good work in to take it out. I enjoyed this so much, and I think Tali and Indy will make for an interesting match.
Yeah, I think Tali's the perfect opponent if you want Indy to maybe get booed. Because they're the promo was kind of heelish from Indy, so maybe like if you're gonna put her in there against someone and want her to get booed, Tali's the one to go with.
Yeah, and also Fresh sort of like alluded to it in commentary, like she'd rather be like selling her toys and going to conventions than actually coming here and defending her title.
Yeah, it was some good work there. Yeah, I like this a lot. Then we come to Mitch Waterman. Renegades of Wrestling World title match, put his title up against Dean Brady, and in 18 minutes 35 seconds, Waterman defeated Dean Brady. Todd, what did you think?
Yeah, it showed. It just shows how far along Dean has come now.
Yeah.
Like he looked like a main eventer. He paced himself like a main eventer. For people that hadn't seen him before, possibly in Victoria, they would have just thought, okay, this guy's obviously a big deal. Look at the size of him.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't look nervous at all. He didn't look out of place at all. He looked like a guy that was meant to be there and someone who could be a genuine threat.
Oh, yeah. Jamie.
Yeah, they made Dean look like an absolute monster. Even the promo video that they showed beforehand Dean's was awesome.
Yeah.
Such a good promo. On Mitch's side, like, I really like Mitch. I just sort of can't help but ask, like, what is his character supposed to be now? Like, he just comes out with the mask on, but then he's just like, I'm a great wrestler guy.
He's like the enforcer of the old guard.
No, not Dean.
Not
Mitch.
Dean.
Oh,
Mitch.
Dean. Oh, sorry, Mitch. Sorry, I got confused when you meant mask and
Yeah, they both come out in a mask, but yeah, Mitch, I'm like, what is your character? Like, it's kind of futuristic, cyberpunky, but then he's just cool wrestler guy and he's a fan favorite, but he's such a natural heel. It was just a weird, like, disconnect for me with him.
He is. Nick Galea brings up an excellent point. He thinks the content barometer for local wrestling should be a harder PG/M level. Like the level of obscenity or violence on mainstream, in inverted commas, level indie wrestling that attracts all ages should be akin to a superhero movie. Keeping it relatively clean also makes the graphic moments mean a lot more. Absolutely. Crackers honestly could have done that promo and alluded to stuff and made it funnier than just coming out and saying it. And that's an important point to make. And Crackers is hilarious, like a really funny guy. I thought, bell to bell, this was a terrific match. Mitch Waterman and Dean Brady are both very, very good in ring. Brady particularly has put everything together in the last 12 months. And it was good to see him venture out of Adelaide and have a match at this level. And the crowd certainly took it seriously. I like this a lot. At the end of the match, it's important to say that Mitch threw down an open challenge. I like the fact that they're making this belt an open challenge belt. That really, really.
Well, technically, he threw down an open challenge before the match.
Yeah. Well,
like,
he's got.
It was in a promo before the match. So it's like, obviously he's not losing this belt.
Only gives it away. But Tyson Reed came out and has accepted that challenge for the next show, Renegades of Wrestling Indestructible, on Sunday, June 15, 2025 at the Northcote Theatre. I like bell to bell, you were never going to get a bad match with these two. And there were several near falls that you could tell the crowd bought into, and I bought into as well. Like, I thought, are they actually going to give it to Dean? Are they just going to, that'll be cool. And then, the spear
into the super kick was great.
Yeah, it was an excellent moment. The match was really good, says Nick. I like the idea that Brady wasn't a villain per se, more the challenge to be overcome. Yeah, one thing I'm liking about Dean Brady is his sense of humor is really coming to the fore. Not just in-ring as an in-ring almost cheeky. He's got a few moments that are almost a bit sort of hee-hee on cheeky, which is some of his natural persona, but also his pre-match promo had a few more amusing moments. It was played a little bit for fun, and I kind of like that because Dean's a really funny guy. I thought all up, the show was very much of two halves. There was one show that was a little bit too promo heavy, one half that was a bit too promo heavy, but then that second half was full of action and was really, really good. Todd, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think if you'd have moved, maybe not, instead of having like that whole bunch of stuff right at the start, you could have spread that out through the show. It probably would have made it not seem as heavy at the start.
Promo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heavy on promo. Because I understand, like, they've got a lot of stuff that they want to set the table for. But you don't have to set the table at the very start of the night for stuff that's going to be going on for the next couple of months, so to speak. Like Andrew Arthur could have came out straight after, like, intermission and done his thing easily. So, but like the ambush match, rapid fire. That's one of the best matches this year. You'll see, really, really good match. So it was great. The number one continuous scramble match, really good for what the girls were, what they got done in the amount of time they had done. Like, you got 5 girls in a scramble match with only 8 minutes. You don't have a lot of time to do a lot of stuff. So they got it really well done. And the main event, again, what I loved about that main event was they do the thing that not a lot of people do, but the really good people do, and that is change levels. Every time Dean took over, the pace slowed down. Everything slowed down. Like, you're working at my speed, lad. We're not. I don't get paid by the hour. Let's go. I'm just here till the job gets done. I don't care. Whereas every time Mitch got a little bit of like upmanship, it was quick. It was pace. It was like, I like to say, it's like the heel in some respects is like a fireman, and he's got that blanket, and he's putting that blanket over the fire. But anytime that blanket gets moved or lift up, the fire blows up, and it's fucking shits everywhere until he can tame that fire again. Like, and that's how that match felt to me. Like, every time Dean slipped up, Waterman was just shit, get back down here, you little bastard. You know what I mean? And that,
that's the perfect description of that match.
That's a really good descriptor. I like that, Todd. Jamie, what did you think of the show overall?
Yeah, like you said, tale of two halves. Just the balance was a little bit off on this one. So if you're going to watch that, you can probably skip that first half and just go from the Tyson Reed match on.
I wouldn't skip all of it, but if you're going to watch it free on YouTube. Just look up Renegades of Wrestling.
The link, of course, will be in the description for the podcast.
There it is, as always. Beastie will put the link there in the description, as he just mentioned. Alex Feihart said, the promo heavy talk sounds why I think video promos during intermission should be more of a thing if promotions can manage it. Agree. Nick Galea said live, he enjoyed the show, but gets that it didn't transfer as well to video. And that's what we're going on. Like, we are going on the video, but I'm glad you were there, Nick, and I'm glad you could send that through.
I think live, when you can have that kind of interaction and back and forth with it, and you're committed to watching this. But at home, when you're able to just switch off,
you don't have that. Yeah, you don't have that.
Go and get a drink. Yeah, I'm going to go and get a drink, and then come back, and it's still going on. You're like, oh god.
Yeah, your phone is right there. You can go, I'm just going to check out what's going on.
Yeah, the opening like 25, 30 minutes was, I might just scroll my phone for this.
Yeah. Which is, you're 100% right. And it's hard when you do, like, and I understand, like, that first match, well, not the first match, the second match with Sam Yanis and Kobe Reed probably would have been great to open the show if they were going to do 1,000 indie-rific things. That's a great thing to keep people's attention. Like, oh, shit, this is what this show is going to be like. Holy shit. They just did everything. You know what I mean? So, it was like Tale of Two Halves is a perfect descriptor for it. And also, like Nick saying he enjoyed the show live, that's how these things are meant to be enjoyed, though, as well. You're meant to go out there and enjoy it live. You're meant to really, like, it's really stuff like this is just for, like, poor suckers like myself and Jamie who don't live in Melbourne and can't go to these shows on the reg.
Right now, I'm just too busy because this was the night before our last show, so there was no way I was going to get in.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? It's more for, like, we're blessed to be able to watch this stuff on YouTube because we don't get to go to see it live. We don't get that extra experience. That's why on the show here, we always encourage people, go out and support. Like, it's cool that it's on YouTube, but if you're in town, go and check it out live, like any promotion.
And
even just a few years ago, you would have only got clips, a couple of clips on social, and that would have been it.
And it's great that we can watch this live for free on YouTube. Like, isn't that fantastic that we can just sit and watch a whole show free, live, YouTube? Nick has said, to be fair, that's a lot of feds for him. Like, as a case in point, he can blast through a Black Label show on video that some folks say are perfect. Yeah, that's completely fair. Completely fair. And what else will be fair is the stake that is high. That is high stakes, which will be on Saturday, May 17th.
Well, hang on. Before you do that, promote when the next Renegade show's on.
Oh, yeah. Once again, as I mentioned, the next Renegade show is Sunday, the 15th of June, 2025 at the Northcote Theatre. I did mention that earlier. Again, I think tickets are still available, so get into that one.
Very few tickets. I just checked it.
Yeah. It looks like a pretty stacked show.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's going to be
really compelling matches on that one.
And speaking of stacked shows, the next MCW show is High Stakes on Saturday, the 17th of May. It's about a month before the Renegade show. We have, and this is going to be phenomenal, tickets from mcwtix.com.au. So there again, much like Renegades, there's a handful of tickets left. Rocky Monero against Edward Dusk. That'll be great. Lucas Fantasia against Lucky O'Leary, two of the best young workers in the country. That'll be fantastic. Shut up and take my money. MCW Intercommonwealth title match. Adam Brooks against Ryan Rapid. Yeah, that's not going to be a bad match no matter what. Jarvis against Robbie Thorpe. That'll be fun. Eugene against Aisha for the MCW Women's Championship with special guest ref Erica Reed. The MCW Tag Title #1 Contenders Tournament first round match. Carlo Cannon and Jean Wen of the Midnight Three versus the Physicals, Jimmy Castle and Johnny Jets. Todd's favorite tag team in the world right now. And of course, topped by the MCW World Title, Ricky South versus Caveman Ugg. In the promos, they're mentioning Ricky defeating Ugg for the PWA belt. It's great. It's great. This is going to be a fantastic show. There's no way it's not. And it's going to lead straight into Ballroom Brawl, I think. And a lot of the matches decide some of the ramifications on Ballroom Brawl. So you want to catch that. It's going to be great. But there's more coming
and
this week.
Also with all of these matches too, before the match happens, they're spinning that wheel. So there are going to be stipulations for like every match. Aside from the special ref, every match is going to have a stipulation on it. So it could be like Lucky O'Leary could have to put his hair on the line. Yeah. Or, do you know what I mean? There's a whole, like, remember, this is where the Nick Armstrong thing happened. Yeah. Last year or the year before, where loser leaves MCW. Yeah. And he got carried out. Stuff like that can happen on these shows. This is why I love these types of shows where you don't know. You know where the matches are. You're not quite sure what the stipulation is until you actually get there and watch it.
What I love also about Armstrong is he came back a month later as Nick Legstrong.
Yes.
And it was so obviously him in a
which
head.
has been one of the inside jokes of fucking wrestling for the longest time.
Oh yeah.
That or Nick Armstronger. Just to like his brother Jet.
Yeah, Nick's great. Nick's hilarious and great. A lot of fun. But there's a lot coming up this weekend. Let's go through this. New South Wales, if you're in New South Wales, International Wrestling Alliance, Wrestle Riot, Saturday, May 10. All-Star Wrestling Australia, Only the Strong Will Survive on Saturday, May 10. Queensland, up your area. The Queensland Wrestling Alliance Double Tap on Saturday, May 10th. Are you going up, Todd?
Oh, no, it's in Townsville.
Oh, it's in Townsville.
Could be a bit of a drive.
Well,
could be a bit of a drive for me.
I thought the Queensland Wrestling Alliance was like all you guys.
No, QWA is like North Queensland.
My
bad. It's like Townsville area. Very, very good promotion. Aside from, of course, Trent O'Day.
Wow. Wow.
Tell us how you really feel.
South
Australia, Pro Wrestling South Australia, Saturday Night Showdown on Saturday, May 10.
He loves it.
Here in Victoria. Here in Victoria, Professional Championship Wrestling presents Something for the Mums, Saturday, May 10. You wouldn't want to go if there's lots of kids there. Wrestle Rock 42, Friday, May 9. Lucha Fantastica, the anniversary in Geelong on Saturday, May 10th. And Mayhem Pro Wrestling and King of Colac. The Clash of Colac on Saturday, May 10. I am busy on Saturday, but I would absolutely drive out to Colac to watch that show. Good luck to Josh. Good luck to Jake, and good luck to Phil for what is going to be another great event. They're doing fantastic work. Nick says IWA should be, I think he means fun. Randall defending the belt against Ben Braxton should be a banger. Yes, it should. Bloody DJ is ragging on on Todd again. And don't forget, once again, Renegades of Wrestling Indestructible 2025. Sunday the 15th of June at the Northcote Theatre. Indy Hartwell returns to take on Tali. I mean, that alone is going to be tremendous. It's a great time to be a fan in Australia. Plunk down some cash, go and see a show.
Something for the Mums is a great name for a show on Mother's Day.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And
if it's something for the mums, it should literally be like, you can just drop your kids off here.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll look after the kids for a couple of hours. Go and have a lunch.
As Nick has mentioned, King of Colac is a stat card, and these shows almost always sell out. Yeah, I wish I wasn't busy, otherwise I'd be there. I'm assuming you're going, Nick. If you are, enjoy. And to anyone else catching wrestling over the weekend, enjoy the weekend. It's a bit of a break. Oh, speaking of breaks, here's ours.
Wow.
Brooksy, I mean, what is there to say about you, Brooksy? You are the bloat. You are the pillar, the benchmark of Australian wrestling. Hell, you're an icon. You are my icon. For years I have been watching you. I have been studying you. Ever since the Polish Club days in Roadville. And you're also the Commonwealth champion. A championship that has so much prestige in Melbourne wrestling, if not the most. Brooksy, as a child, I wanted to beat you. And now, with the Intercommonwealth Championship on the line, I need to beat you. See you at high stakes, Brooksy.
I never thought I'd be someone that the faithful accepted. It's just not something I'm used to. And I know that there are those that are never going to forgive the things that I did. I don't blame them. I don't regret doing them. But regardless how they feel about me, all of us can agree on one thing. It's time for change. See, they are sick of you contorting MCW into your image. I am sick of being your obsession. One by one, you have sent your goons to keep me from the MCW championship, and one by one, I have beat them. Robbie, Lucky, this agreement with Ricky, all your plans have failed. And I really thought that after Endgame, we were done. And then at Anniversary, I was a breath away from becoming the world champion. And you couldn't let that happen, not after everything. So you panicked, you snapped, you showed everyone that you're not some great mastermind. You are just a man with a power complex and a fragile ego. See, I can want change, but there is no way forward as long as you pull the strings. But I refuse to be stuck between what I am and what I will become. So at high stakes, I challenge you, Rocky Monero, to fight me. Not so I can defeat you, because that won't do anything. I want to fight you because I want revenge. I want to hurt you really bad. I want change. And the only way that starts is by ending you.
Well, Rocky, you said that I would fumble under the brightest lights, and that just wasn't the case, was it? But I've got a taste now. I've got a taste of victory, and you weren't enough. I want more. Give me a bigger stage. Give me bigger lights. Give me a bigger guy. Give me Robbie Thorpe. Give me that high stakes. I want to slap that dumb British beefcake all around the ring. And I can't wait for you to watch, Rocky.
It's been 6 long years since I've wrestled in Melbourne, and now Renegades of Wrestling have a new, impressive women's champion. Tonight, I took down Aisha, and I'm looking for a new challenger. I'm calling anyone out. If you want to challenge me for this Renegades of Wrestling Women's Championship, come get me.
5.5 years, 2019, been a while. I went 40 minutes. I came out of retirement and I went 40. I could have went another 20. I could go another 60. Do you know why? Do you know who I am? I'm a renegade.
Brother Gore and I did successfully defeat JXT and Funtime Phil, and we are now finally the #1 contenders for the Renegades Tag Team titles. It's about goddamn time. But I had secondary business tonight. Very important business. Tonight. A shot at the Renegades Heavyweight Championship was on the line for whoever won a 20-man over-the-top rumble. But I was pretty confident that in my 25th year of violence, this was my night. However, I was putting my fairy tale quarter-of-a-century victory head-to-head with the aspirationalists' foregone conclusion. And what I didn't account for like a fool was that, Lachlan, you got yourself a protege. My protege has a protege. And he must be pretty bloody good, because that man, Hector Jones, cost me tonight. He cost my shot at that title. But it's not all bad, because if the student of my student is good enough to ruin my day, then I must be one hell of a mentor. So congratulations, Hector. Congratulations, Lachlan. Good luck on the title shot. An ambush. Brother Gore and I are coming for you.
There you go. Some exciting things coming up in Melbourne. That Renegades promo is great. Let's be honest. It's a really good piece of work. Well done, Mikey J. And we are back in 5. Not that you edit anyway, but look, it's tradition now, I think. We are back in 5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome back to Making Chicken Solid, Australia's longest running wrestling podcast. Thank you, Todd. Jamie can't even be fucked. As we take a look around the world of wrestling and we see some of the things that are going on. Obviously, WWE released a bunch of people.
But before you do that, sorry, mate. Before you do that, I was going to wait till this week because Lachlan was supposed to be here. Unfortunately, he's not. And best wishes to him. How he gets better or whatever the reason he is away, he's okay and comes back to us healthy and happy and all of that. But I actually received a message from someone overseas. Oh. So like I was just sent something and said like, can you please play this? And I was like, well, okay. I defer to people above me, so I was like, of course I will. So just a little message here. It was meant for yourself, Jeff, and for Lachlan. He obviously didn't know that you were joining us, Jamie, so apologies for that. So here we go, a little message.
Well, hello, Lachlan and Jeff. It's Brian Alvarez here. Yes, from the esteemed Wrestling Observer website, f4wonline.com. And I am here today because I heard from your father, Todd. I hear you had a WrestleMania tipping competition. And you young whippersnappers thought, I'll be dad. He's old. We're young. We're smart. We know more than our father. You know, we've been on this earth for like not that long. He's been on the earth for much longer. Well, of course we're smarter. Yeah, I know how you youngsters think. I got children myself. Well, seems like you learned a valuable lesson, didn't you? Yeah. Who won that tipping contest? Was it you, Jeff? Was it you, Lachlan? The answer is no. It wasn't. It was Dad. Old Dad, old Todd, the old man, put a beating on you two young punks. Now, I know as youngsters, you're going to be thinking, oh man, we got to get him next time. No, that's the wrong attitude. The attitude should be, man, that Todd, he knows his stuff. Maybe we should listen to him more often. Maybe we should take his advice. As a man who's been around the block a time or two, who literally taught us everything that we know. So, Lachlan, when your father tells you, son, Cody isn't a heel. He's a babyface that got booed by a specific crowd over WrestleMania weekend, and it ain't gonna last through next week. Well, you say, you're right, Dad. You're right. Jeff, I know you're a big fan of Jericho. Hey, that man's a legend as well. Like Todd. You just gotta remember that. So all the best to you both. Don't forget my fatherly advice. I've given this speech to my children many times, and look at how they've turned out. Yes. Better luck next year, kids. I'll talk to you again after a while.
Okay.
That was nice.
Jesus Christ.
Firstly, that was hilarious. Secondly, the only small problem is I didn't tip in the WrestleMania.
I know. Look, he doesn't know everything. He didn't listen to every show.
That was so funny. That was
I
just
also
so
did like
funny.
you're now just old man Todd.
I'm fine with it.
I'm
fine
gonna
with
have to start calling you Dad.
That's fine. You're not the first. You won't be the last.
No, I didn't say Daddy. I said Dad.
Oh.
No.
Jamie is just shaking his
Do you know
head.
how long I've had that in the fucking thing ready to go?
Well, it's not my fault.
Lachlan keeps disappearing.
I mean,
and it just like the funniest thing is because like last week you were like, how Jamie was just like, how long are you going to keep milking this? And I'm like, oh, if you only knew, brother. I got this still to go.
That was very very funny.
That's my counter to the Wheeler Utah.
Oh, I know that, and this isn't over. By the way, this is a long way from over. And you're kind of aware of that as well. What I like, there's two things I liked about it. One, certainly didn't expect it. Two, the irony of me not doing the WrestleMania competition is wonderful, and also the individual bits that you picked, like Cody not being a heel and my of Jericho, were just excellent.
Love of Jericho.
No, can say it. I can't bring myself to say it. But it's not like Jericho got released by the WWE. Oh no! But speaking of releases, several people have been released as of now. The news came to us last Saturday before SmackDown. I'll go through the list. Let me know what you guys think. If there's anyone who stands out to be somewhere special. But Shayna Baszler, Dakota Kai, Braun Strowman, Caden Carter, Katana Chance, Gigi Dolan, Eddie Thorpe, Javier Bernal, Oro Mensah, Wolfgang, Mark Coffey, Joe Coffey, Cora Jade, and Riley Osborne. The NXT releases have a 30-day no complete clause, while the WWE main roster releases have a 90-day no compete clause. I'm sorry. Is there anyone that stands out to you guys that will be elsewhere or get work in other spots, etc., etc.?
Well, I think it's also important to note that not all of these are releases. Some of them are just told that they weren't getting renewed. So
yes, that is important to note. Thank you.
So it wasn't that. Well, you've got to think Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai, Shayna Baszler, maybe Chance and Carter, Gigi Dolan can pick up some places. Cora Jade, of course.
Cora Jade's going to be fine. She's going to be fine.
Cora Jade will end up somewhere.
I believe, from someone during the week that I was listening to, I believe WWE see this more as a go somewhere, improve, get your shit together, and come back. And there's no sort of animosity there because they do note that she's got a future.
And Cora got picked up by Paragon, so she's got great management, so she'll end up somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 100% that whole wrestling thing. Go and learn another hold, kid. Come back.
Yeah.
Go and do a Drew McIntyre and a bloody Cody Rhodes, and we'll see you in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and someone was saying that, I can't remember who tweeted out, but there's apparently already interest from AEW in Dakota, so that makes plenty of sense.
I'd heard
she can go in the ring when she's healthy, so she'd fit into that roster pretty well.
She'd fit into a company where people can go in the ring if they're healthy. Yeah, I think she will too. I also think that I think that Braun will be fine.
Well, I read somewhere today that I think it was Bill Apter was saying that Braun Strowman has 15% paralysis in one of his legs.
Oh, he's never
wrestled
again.
So the idea is that he will maybe come back and do 3 or 4 months a year with WWE and then go again. So maybe this was a release to say we're going to bring you back on a part-time thing, but you can't wrestle full-time anymore.
Yeah,
that chokes me up because you know what Vince's thought would be.
Yeah.
So
but the other ones there are a lot of them that are massively talented. A lot of them that you just okay. It's I hear a lot, the biggest complaint I heard is people saying, oh, they cut so many women from the roster. I can't believe it. But then when you look at the NXT roster, they have 30 girls on their roster in NXT.
Yep.
So it's what do you do?
I also think if Katana and Chan stick together as a unit, they've got more potential than as individuals. Now, Caden Carter or Casey Catanzaro is an American Ninja Warrior alumni, and she was brilliant. She was so good, and someone of that size to be able to do some of the shit she was doing. She's got natural strength, and she's really, really good. But I think if they stick together as a unit, they've probably got more opportunities.
Yeah, the biggest problem with her is that she's not the size of a bloody 12-year-old girl. That's the unfortunate thing about her. It's she is a tiny, tiny person, a tiny human. So it's just, but even some of the stuff the writing was on the wall when last week on NXT all these groups broke up.
Mm-hmm.
What are the name for Metaphor just broke up out of nowhere. I'm that's a couple of those are going, and that's why Jakara. I don't think she's on there actually. Jakara Jackson got released as well.
Jackson,
yeah, she got released as well. I apologize, I missed that one.
And again, she's probably in the same boat as Gigi Dolan in that go away, learn a bit more, grow a bit more, and we'll have you back. She's got Jackson has so much charisma. In just you've got believability in her. I'm also
Cora's partnership with Roxanne too, where she was Roxanne's best friend, and then when they went to Raw, they just slotted in Julia Julia instead,
was the spot.
and Cora just
Yeah.
disappeared, and you're like, oh, that's not good for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably not cool.
I'm also kind of surprised by Gallus, only because Gallus were the people that got The Rock back in shape for his matches last year. I'm kind of surprised that they're not just keeping him around as conditioning coaches, and they can appear on NXT whenever they need 3 old hands in a battle royal, as they did with Timothy Thatcher this week.
Do you know what the problem with that is? That's visas.
True.
That's 3 visas they don't have to pay.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. And
there's no shortage of conditioning coaches in the States.
And to be honest, it's probably the same with Dakota. It's probably the same with Evie, But if obviously they've got 90 days, and part of that, when you're at that level, is to look for more work.
Yeah, it's technically like, I know they say it's a 90-day non-compete, but technically they still work for them for 90 days. You just can't. We're just not bringing you in. You're not going to be on.
It's basically like a 90 days notice of your contract.
Yeah. We're paying you 90 days in lieu. Go and you can look for another job.
Yeah. But more WWE news, as everyone knows by now. The Perth PLE on October 11 is going to be called Crown Jewel Perth. It's being held at the RAC Arena, which will host 3 WWE events. Sorry, I became Kurt Angle for a sec there. Within a 4-day span. SmackDown on Friday, October 10. Raw on Monday, October 13 are also set for the venue. It is going to have the same format as last year's Crown Jewel has been announced. So it will have
champion versus champion.
Champions versus champions. I guess we'll talk more on that in coming weeks.
The Crown Jewel title?
Yeah.
The Crown Jewel title.
Yeah, I think that's what they're basically doing.
Yeah.
The same thing, just not in Saudi Arabia.
Is Crown Jewel like becoming their version of Grand Slam, where it's kind of just like this showcase show that you can drop in anywhere?
I don't know. Because I don't think that means. I think that somebody was saying something like that means that it doesn't look like Saudi's going to get another show for this year.
That seems crazy. The amount of money they pay for those.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. But yeah, it's different. Like, does that mean we get to see maybe Jey Uso against John Cena?
Potentially, yeah. If Jey still has the belt.
If Jey still has the belt.
It's also like, good luck, guys, because flights have already skyrocketed for those days.
God,
so,
yeah, last
week. And also EPW announced, what are they doing the Thursday night?
They're doing the Sunday evening.
Sunday evening. Sorry, I apologize.
They're doing the Sunday evening. I think it's an afternoon show. So take your kids. I think that this is, We'll talk more about it in the weeks and months to come. I guess that's
we're going to find out. We don't know anything about ticket pricing yet. We don't know anything about anything like that. Yeah. There obviously will be packages. So I think if you're going to stay there for the full thing, then that would be the ideal way to go, instead of trying to get 3 separate things, is to get the packages.
Yeah.
It just depends on what they're going to do. Like the flight, like I know for here in Brisbane, the cheapest flight I could look at getting, I haven't gotten flights yet, so I still don't know what I'm going to do. The cheapest thing I could get was I think it was like $750 return.
Yeah.
But that was going in on Thursday and then coming back on Tuesday. But that's before accommodation, before everything else. So
yeah, it racks up when it's got to be over that longest.
It racks up. So
that's the thing. And you probably want to hire a car for the 4 days, because you don't want to try and rely on Ubers and that, because Perth isn't an Uber town. It's a
I know Perth's a big Uber town, but everything is so far displaced.
That's what I mean. It's like so far apart that like Uber's really,
unless you're living directly on a train or bus line. I'm sorry.
Or if you find a hotel or an Airbnb that's not far from the RAC Arena, because basically that's the hub of where you want to be.
which is a bit more difficult because of its location. You need to be in a unit, would need to be close by, and that would be fucking expensive. I know Perth. I know.
Yeah,
Perth.
I know. When I went to Perth, we stayed in a hotel that was really close to it, but I cannot remember for the life of me remember what it was called.
Yeah. And the hotels you can bet are already getting booked up.
Yeah.
The roster of WWE's Wednesday Night Evolve offering on Tubi will now have new championships to fight for. On Wednesday's Evolve episode, the brand's authority figure, Stevie Turner, announced the creation of the men's and women's WWE Evolve championships. I think Jamie put the belts in our chat today.
Yeah,
and they're actually really visually appealing, but they're just wasted. Like,
They look like the original NXT tag titles, the girls.
They kind of do. Yeah, they kind of do. I guess
with
that's
the
why
Evolve logo being on the front.
Yeah,
I just don't see the point in it. I really don't.
Yeah.
I think it's silly.
My one complaint with the design is like the actual leather has like all the cutouts in it as well. I think if it was just like a straight piece of
I
leather,
think you're right there.
it would look so much nicer. It's just a little bit over designed.
I would
just don't
agree
see
with
the point in
that.
it.
But I think
Especially when they have the WWE ID belts, which are also going to be defended on Evolve, and then these
Are they? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then these belts are going to be on the Indies as well. So it's like, why not just have the Evolve belts?
I don't see the point in it.
It was weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very weird. It's very weird. And they could do some cool things between the Indies and Evolve. Yeah. But still, Gabe, I trust in Gabe. I trust in Gabe. Gabe Sapolsky is a good booker. I trust what he's doing. He knows what he wants to do.
I've honestly I've not even seen an episode of it, so I could not tell you what it's like at all.
I mean,
there's just so much wrestling on. There's not enough time.
God, there's so much wrestling.
I find, and I put Evolve in the same category as I put like AEW Dark and AEW Elevation. I never watched any of those.
Unless someone says it's an awesome match, I'm not going to go out of my way.
100%. That's exactly my thoughts in it. Unless it's that, it doesn't bother me. I don't care. I don't really care. Tell me something happened, I'll go and check it out. Aside from that, I don't want to invest another hour or however long the show is on that.
The main event of today's episode was Nikita Lyons versus some girl I've never heard of.
I thought that was Speed. Wasn't that the Speed?
No. Oh, speaking of Speed. Okay.
This is what I mean. There's so much shit. It's like, I don't want to keep track of it all.
We finally have a champion in Speed that we can all be proud of. El Grande Americano has won his first title in WWE.
Jeez. Did he win it quicker than what bloody Gable did?
Well,
He's won a single title quicker than Gable.
Yeah, he did. He did. So speaking of Mexican wrestlers, there we go. How's that? Wrestlers from AAA that have already signed contracts with WWE. The following are not necessarily endorsed by Wrestle Radio Australia and Making Chicken Salad. I just want to make that clear. Nino Hamburguesera, Lady Maravilla, Lady Flamer, La Hydra, La Paca, Hio del Vikingo, Hio de Dr. Wagner, and Alberto Del Patron.
Remind me to never go to a Mexican restaurant with you. I don't
go on then,
any of that.
You say
no. I just no. This is why we have a Lachlan.
As quickly as I could.
Yeah. He heard Del Wagner Jr.
And we don't know. Lachlan could be fucking them up anyway. We wouldn't know.
True. That's fair. That is fair.
The Dr. Wagner one is one that like interests me in the way that he was offered a AEW contract and turned it down because he felt like he could earn, or it might have been a WWE contract, and turned it down because he wanted to earn more money for a AAA, and now they went and just bought him anyway.
But yeah, to be like clear though, this is a AAA contract. It's not; these guys aren't all turning up on Monday Night Raw next week or SmackDown or NXT.
Well, I mean,
it is purely a AAA contract.
Yeah, but you can see
what they have done is they've taken them over, so they've got the IP for like Vikingo and Dr. Wagner and La Parka. They can make the all the dolls and the fucking t-shirts and the merchandising, and there's more protections on than what the original contracts they would have signed with AAA are, which I can't imagine are exactly fucking airtight. Whereas the WWE TKO ones will be protected somewhat.
Yeah. I mean,
I think where people are getting confused is they kind of incorporated Vikingo into the Mania stuff. So people are like, oh, they're automatically like under the WWE banner now. So not quite.
Yeah.
And as Alex Firehart said, I think in reference to Hio the Dr. Wagner, he might have also wanted to be able to go back to Noah occasionally, which given WWE now have the relationship with Noah, is still likely to be doable, even with AAA being under WWE now. Yeah, quite true. Quite true.
I honestly don't feel like AAA is going to change all that much.
No.
Like, you can call me maybe an optimist. I just feel like they're going to let them do them, but with some money now behind them.
I think that, and I
heard that they didn't have that much money behind them before. So now that they have TKO with them, they'll have more money behind them. They can maybe put into presentation, they put into like production. And if they can do that production with the AAA style, the biggest mistake they will make if they move away from Lucha Libre, because that is their bread and butter in Mexico. And I don't think they will either. I don't think they will either. The biggest difference is now that when it comes to a Triple Mania, something like that, they can go, okay, you guys can have Ray, you guys can have Dragon, you guys can have like the fucking, what are they called? Legatos. You can have.
Yeah, they're already sending them apparently.
Yeah, you can have all of these like Latin stars that everyone thought they'd lost.
By the same token, to round out the Royal Rumble numbers, particularly if it's in a very Latina-heavy audience, you can have Vikingo making an appearance. You can have, La Parca make an appearance. You can have.
Oh, mate, if La Parca comes out in Royal Rumble, the pop for that will be massive.
Pop will be huge. Yeah,
absolutely.
If he does that little,
the crowd will go nuts.
It'd be massive. Like, and I don't know if how many of the Rumbles you watched, but I remember back in the day, Mil Mascaras coming out to Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Like there was a couple of times where they had like Mexican wrestlers in there. This is just more of that. I think people are jumping the gun and thinking that AAA is just going to change into WWE Mexico, whereas I don't think that's going to be the case at all. I think it's just going to, like, you guys, you're an arm of us. You're not technically not a brand. You're not like NXT for us. You are you're AAA, because they'd be foolish to throw away that, like, that tradition, that earned reverence that the AAA have in Mexico, to
Absolutely.
just go, all right, WWE is here now. Because otherwise you would just move WWE there. You wouldn't bother buying AAA. Why would you bother?
And I think I read that they're going to have like Jeremy Borash as like a kind of liaison overseer thing to kind of just maybe fine tune it and polish things.
That's only a good thing. JB's so good at production. He really
his production is amazing. And the type of production, because I know he was behind a lot of the Hardy stuff.
Yes, he was.
And Mexican wrestling love
that
like
stuff.
Lucha Libre, love that shit.
Yeah.
And I think the Hardys and Joe Hendry are at Triple Mania this year.
I think before we move on with any more WWE news, I want to make sure this comment and question doesn't go past. Bloody DJ has asked, what are our thoughts on Hogan and Bischoff's new Pro-Am wrestling show? Now, Jamie, I know you are just hanging out for this. You are so excited. You can barely contain yourself, mate. I think I'd rather eat glass myself. I've decided I've got this light globe here that I need to change. I think if I was made to watch any of it, I'd fucking eat glass.
Hey, do you like UFC? Cool. Now let's watch UFC without the punching or submission.
Without punching and kicking.
That'd be so bad. Thanks.
And they've also
thanks for making
they also have great reverence for Benjamin Shelton as well.
Yes.
Apparently,
Benjamin Shelton.
Terrible.
Keep your name out your fucking mouth.
He just went. Oh, it was great, Benjamin Shelton.
It's just another fucking grift of Hogan's.
Oh yeah.
And Bischoff. I know Bischoff loves like amateur wrestling. Like Bischoff loves that shit. Was like an amateur wrestler himself. So that obviously that would be appealing to him. But again, it's just another way to try and earn money. Another like.
I think it could be interesting for like the right crowd, like the people that love that style of wrestling. But for everyone else, it's not going to draw in casual fans.
No, not at all. Like I said, do you like UFC? Cool. Do you like the most complaining I hear from a random like ordinary UFC fan? They hate it when it goes to the ground.
Yeah.
And now you're going to watch something where it's always on the ground, basically, and you can't sub anyone.
No.
Like,
I mean,
the good thing about amateur wrestling is I know apparently the NCAA wrestling rated its tits off this year on like ESPN or something. Yeah. But it's like a once every 4 years thing. Like when people watch the Olympics, it's the only time I ever hear anyone talking about amateur wrestling. Like I don't really hear them talking about the NCAAs unless there's a monster comes through like Brock Lesnar or bloody what was his name? The guy Gable Stevenson, who lost this year when he went back.
Yeah.
And that was the big story because he lost.
And I think with Hogan's current politics, the show is naturally based to receive a fair bit of backlash. Speaking of backlash,
it's aimed for that crowd. Sorry, I know that, but I'm like, it's aimed for that crowd. I know you were going for backlash. I know what you're doing.
Backlash thing.
All over the segue.
Todd, you're making me cry. Lachlan's been training me, and you're making me cry. Backlash is this Saturday or Sunday in Australia.
Sunday for us.
There's only a few matches, and this does look like a great card. The United States champion Jacob Fatu defends against Drew McIntyre, LA Knight, and Damian Priest in a four-way. Todd, who's going to take that?
Fatu. Fatu ain't losing that shit.
Jamie,
you know what I mean?
Is it worth asking you for predictions for
Yeah,
this?
no, that's definitely Fatu. If Fatu loses, I'll be stunned.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I will be too. Intercontinental champion Dominic Mysterio will be defending against Penta. Who you got and why, Jamie?
That has to be Dom again. Like
I fucking want it to be Dom.
After that massive pop that he got, he can't lose now.
Yeah.
Then the women's Intercontinental champion Lyra Valkyria will be defending against the man Becky Lynch. Todd,
I think Becky will probably win this one to further their feud. Like she'll win. She'll eventually drop it back, but she's got to lose it so she can drop it back to her.
Yeah. Make Lyra look stronger. I agree. Jamie?
Yeah, Becky wins that one. Her promo on that interview podcast today or yesterday, awesome. Especially the Mercedes line.
Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, my God.
I missed that. I haven't heard it yet.
She talked about Bailey's probably so confused by this, she's paying $100 for her best friend to text her every week.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's very good. Alex Firehearts asked, a bit late, but could Finn screw Dom out of the title, or is it a bit too early? It's much too early for that. It's much too early.
It looks like they're somehow trying to work Finn and AJ together again. I know they're working each other on SmackDown, I think, this week. It's AJ versus Finn. But like, I don't know if you caught it, but when he walked into the promo with Judgment Day and called Finn Prince.
Right.
He's like, "What's up, Prince?"
Pretty cool. Yeah.
That's a faction I can get behind.
Gunther against Pat McAfee. Does anyone
That's got to be so Goldberg can come back. That's why.
Oh God, no.
Don't put that out there.
No.
I'm telling you right now.
Shut up.
I'm telling you right now.
If you're right on that prediction, that'll be horrid.
Pat McAfee, former football player. Goldberg, former football player.
No.
Okay.
No.
If Pat gets Goldberg, can Gunther get Sabrina Carpenter after her Met Gala outfit?
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. He's down with the kids, is our Jamie. Down with the kids. And then finally, undisputed WWE champion John Cena going up against Randy Orton. What do people think? I mean, I don't think Cena's losing yet.
No, he's not losing.
I don't think Cena loses until it's time to ride off into the sunset.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds terrible. I don't even want to fucking main event that with that.
No. Well, the main event of WrestleMania wasn't good. It was a story.
No, that's what I mean. I don't want to main event with that fucking match.
No.
Like I would rather, and it sounds terrible. I would rather if they somehow put Jey Uso and Logan Paul in there for the main event, because at least I know there's going to be a little bit of fucking like shit going on. Not mat-based wrestling.
Maybe they chuck Becky in the main.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I look at that card and I can't think of anything else that could, like Gunther and McAfee, maybe? Because if you want to end it with Goldberg coming back, it's probably a way to do it. As the fucking credits roll, Goldberg and McAfee are in the ring celebrating. I hate that I'm saying this.
Just stop. No, I don't like your ideas.
I'm silent.
You don't like because of my hit rate. That's why.
Fucking horrified. Alvarez will never speak to you again. Some AEW news now.
But maybe he'll speak to Lachlan.
Lachlan. Yeah, that was funny. According to Fightful Select, former Stardom wrestler Thekla has signed a contract with AEW. EJ Unduka is no longer with AEW after Fightful Support reported that Unduka is a free agent following the expiration of his AEW deal. And the Righteous, Dutch and Vincent are no longer with AEW after apparently requesting and receiving their releases. I quite like the Righteous. I think they're a decent tag team.
Potentially coming to join Killer Cross.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a like, it wasn't even a promo. It was just like Killer Cross looking out the window going like this.
Nice.
I'm like, oh, because that's a group that could fit together.
Yeah, that's a great group.
That's so much better than fucking, what were they called? The Authors of Pain. That's much better backup for him than those guys.
Yep, I agree.
And the Heckler, they already started teasing her on AEW today as well with there was the poison spider graphic all over the screen every time there was a women's segment.
Yeah. I just want to mention, speaking of Karrion Kross, right now he's the third highest merch seller in WWE. He's barely featured on TV. He's selling more than Cena at the moment.
It is a cool shirt too. It is a really cool shirt.
Great shirt. It's a banger of a shirt.
It does help when the shirt's cool.
Yeah. I'd like to see if WWE would look at EJ Nduka, because if you want a guy to take over from Obafemi and let Obafemi go up, that could be a guy you can do it with.
That is.
Yeah, he's a big unit.
He is a large unit.
As Jamie mentioned earlier, the AEW Double or Nothing card on Sunday, May 25th. That's 2 weeks Sunday. Owen Hart Foundation Men's Tournament Finals. Will Ospreay against Hangman Adam Page. And Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament Finals. Mercedes Moné defeating Jamie Hayter.
Wow.
Calling it already.
Yeah, calling that real early.
I'm calling it early because no one beats Moné. Ever. There's Naito. Naito has left NJPW and is having surgery, including some stem cell treatment. He's trying to Rey Mysterio himself, I think, and prolong his career as much as possible.
Naito's left knee done and left eye.
Wow.
Yeah, apparently he's had double vision for the last couple of years in that left eye.
It's doing that for so long.
That could be why he's been doing that, just to try and get shit into focus.
It wasn't a gimmick at all.
He was just like, Oh yeah,
I can't see
okay,
you.
that one. That's the one I hit.
For those who are listening to the podcast, we're talking about the Naito taunt, of course. And the Good Brothers are back. The Good Brothers have returned to NJPW, perhaps unsurprisingly. Anything to add?
Yay.
Yeah.
God bless them. God bless them.
Good to have friends in higher places.
Yeah, Good Brothers. Thank you, Rocky Romero.
Yeah. Anything to add?
Well, I can't see them working a heavy schedule.
No.
So they're going to be doing Resurgence with the Young Bucks against who was it against the War Dogs?
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Who won, of course, so they are still in the Bullet Club, whereas House of Torture are not in the Bullet Club anymore. Thank God.
Yeah. That's only a good thing.
So, yeah.
Speaking of NJPW, we'll get some predictions going on this. This is the Best of Super Juniors, which starts on Saturday afternoon, evening, our time. We A Block, Kushida, Francisco Akira, Clark Connors, Ninja Mac, Robbie X, Hiromu Takahashi, Yoshinobu Kanemura, Kosei Fujita, Dragon Dia, and the Might, the King, the Master Watto.
I thought you forgot him.
I wasn't going to forget Master
I knew
Watto.
as soon as he skipped over it, I was like, he's going to make a big deal. I fucking Watto, just a shit.
I fucking hate Watto. Who's winning A Block, boys?
Fuge.
You reckon Fuge?
I think he wins A Block but doesn't win the final.
Let's see. It's not going to be Kushida. I think Akira or Connors.
I think Connors. Myself.
I'd like it to be Fuge, but I just don't think they're quite gonna. Because I
they
low
do
key,
the
I think Robbie might be
top
winning
1
this.
and 2 go through, don't they? And then they
might be, yeah. And then they do the semis. So maybe
I
Fuge
think
and Connors.
Yeah, or Fuge and Akira top 2, and then they do the crossover, and Fujita doesn't make the final.
I think it's going to be Fuji and Connors. There we go. B Block, El Desperado, Rasugi Taguchi. I'm so sorry. Taiji Ishimori.
Ryusuke Taguchi.
Ryusuke Taguchi. Thank you. Ryusuke Taguchi's still wrestling. Isn't he? He was like a New Japan dad a decade ago. Yeah.
Mate, look who their champion is. All right?
Yeah,
Let's not fucking...
Ishimori, Yo, Sho, Nick Wayne, Kevin Knight, Titan, and Mao. Mao. Which two names are in?
You missed one.
Yes. Oh, and Australia's own Robbie Eagles. Sorry, Robbie. How can I miss you?
Jeez.
Well, lucky he's on a plane right now.
I was going to say, fucking text message I'm going to get from that.
I am so sorry, Robbie. I apologize profusely, man. So am I next time he sees me. Who's going to win B Block, fellas?
Look, I only because I have a massive soft spot for, I can't remember which one it is. I think it's Yo. I want Yo and Robbie because I've got another tag, but I just don't. Yeah, I don't know. I'm more interested to see the block matches, to be honest with you.
I would love Robbie and Despy. I think they're the
I
two
would love
biggest stars in that division.
Robbie and Ishimori.
Here's the thing, because you know it's not going to be Nick Wayne, and you know it's probably not going to be Mao or Titan or Kevin Knight.
I could see Kevin getting a bit of a rub because he's got that weird dual contract.
Yeah, maybe. Because he's even listed here as being like a New Japan, not AEW guy.
Yeah.
So maybe Kevin Knight, but it's like I get the feeling that they're gonna want to at least mix a couple of Japanese workers into this. So that's why my reasoning is you put like Jose Fujita and Clark Connors into one group. Then you put like Robbie Eagles, or whoever the House of Torture Yoa show is. I can never now, since they've broken, I just don't know which one.
Show's House of Torture.
Yeah, because he was the one I thought was the breakout guy from that team, and then House of Torture
ruined him.
Thank you, they did ruin him.
Yeah, when he was the Static Shock, Electric Shock show, he was awesome.
Yeah, I remember saying when I was watching him and going, well, that's the Sean and Yo's the Marty, because he's got it, and then fucking Old Evil. The Chris Jericho of New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Who's gonna? That's funny. Who's gonna take it out? Who's gonna win the whole thing?
I want it to be Robbie. I think it's Robbie's time.
I think it's about time.
Yeah, it's Robbie's time.
He's equal.
It's a massively Homer call. I know.
He's equal the record with Devitt for international entrance into Best of Super Junior. So
yeah.
Now's the
and
time
let's face
to
it, it's
trigger
not like,
maybe.
Like there's a lot of guys you look at it and you go, okay, they've been around for a while. They're really not going to do it. Like you can't see Kushida doing it because he's been around forever. I can't see Hiromu doing it.
Taguchi doing it.
I can't see. No, there's just like
and
the funny thing is, right?
Winning.
No, but I've seen like Robbie's been around, like you've said, for ages. I don't see him as that veteran. I still see him as a guy that like you can still do a lot of shit with this guy.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's just because that's our boy, like that's Robbie, or if it's like me looking at it going, no, he's still got a lot fucking left in the tank. I think he has a lot left in the tank when it comes to New Japan.
Yeah,
I mean,
and Despy doesn't need the win. So
there is a certain amount of bias in saying that, but there's also a logic in saying it as well. You know, I think they could do a lot worse than Robbie, and I think Robbie definitely has sort of served his time to get an honor like this.
Yes,
and then if you give it to Robbie this year, you can have the story be next year that he's kind of coaching Fujita more, and now Robbie actually has the experience to then pass that down of this is how you win the big tournament.
Could you imagine if he beats Fuj in the semifinals, and then next year's finals is Fuj and Robbie?
Yep, that's kind of what I see envisioning with the block switches. Fujita wins A block, Robbie comes second in B block, they switch, and then they have to go against each other, and that's one way you get those two to actually have a match against each other without it being
and Robbie wins just by out veteraning Kozai.
Experience.
He doesn't like beat him, but he like just that little bit smarter because he's been around that little bit longer.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's nice. I mean, as long as Fuj can overcome the might of Master Watto, then we're all good. And yes, I will continue to call him Master Watto.
Also, I'm excited to see Robbie's outfit for the press conference tomorrow. He always likes to show out at the Best of Super Junior press conference.
He does. It's going to be a great tournament. It's on NJPW World. We'll be probably looking at it a little bit each week because there certainly is a lot of Australian buy-in there, and good luck to both Robbie and Fuj. I think we've adopted Fuj. I think the second we start calling him Fuj, he's Australian. He's adopted.
If you ever actually saw Robbie and Fuj together, it's like that should be a reality show in itself.
Oh yeah, I imagine.
Because that is entertaining as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, Robbie's first match is against Yo next Sunday.
Oh, that's going to be terrible. Oh, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be
shout out to Robbie as well, because I think Robbie got home on Tuesday and then flew back out on Thursday.
Yeah, he flew out this morning.
Yeah. So he was home for 2 days, probably to do the washing, and then back to Japan.
See his wife and then go home. Go back to Japan.
And essentially, all kidding aside, like these are some of the best lightweight wrestlers in the world, junior weight wrestlers in the world, whatever you want to call them. Like, Robbie doesn't have bad matches. I've never seen a bad Robbie Eagles match. And I've been watching him.
I honestly can't wait to see Nick Wayne away from the Christian bullshit to see what he can do in actual matches.
Yeah.
There's some banger like potential pairings in that B block with Robbie.
And not only that, but there's some absolute fantastic ones in A block as well. I mean, very much anchored by Akira and Connors, who are both really, really good and really fun to watch. Personally, I think that and Takahashi, despite the fact that I don't know how he's still walking, he can still put on phenomenal matches. Like, everything he's going to do is going to be so watchable and so fantastic. It's going to be a great Best of Super Juniors. And all kidding aside, just tune in. Tune in. You're going to get great action wall to wall.
Prime time in Australia too. Like,
evening
wrestling. It's great.
Yeah. It's one of like the 3 or 4 times a year I'll resub to New Japan World for like a month.
Yeah.
And break that because I'm like, I want to see these matches.
Yeah. That's NJPW. Any other news that you guys have heard of recently? No, clearly.
No, not really off the top of my head. Anyway,
clearly,
I think we've covered everything.
That is a nice cap that Todd's wearing on his head, and off the top of his head, you can get merch from kickoutmerch.com.au for all your merch needs, including your favourite Queensland wrestlers
Not one of your best
and other
ones.
wrestlers from all over the country. If you want your merch on that site, contact Kickout Merch through their Instagram page. Now, the name of the show is Chicken Shit and Chicken Salad, and we talk about things that we didn't like during the week. Jamie, what's your chicken shit this week?
So Cora Jade put out a tweet suggesting that she was getting body shamed by not only fans but coaches in the Performance Center before her release, which is horrible. That should not be happening at all.
No. That's pretty bad. Todd, what is your chicken shit?
I had one, but I have completely blanked on it at the moment. Can you do yours and get back to me? I'm quickly searching my X to see if I can find it.
Yeah. There was 2 instances in Raw, one following another, where the heel kind of backed off a little bit for reasons, and then turned around and went back in the ring and waffled them. And it was exactly the same twice in a row. It was Rusev. When Tozawa stood up to him, Rusev backs off and then goes under the ring ropes and waffles Tozawa anyway. And then it was done exact same finish was when Becky Lynch was being interviewed and Lyra makes her way out. Becky kind of backs off and then slides under the ropes and waffles her anyway. It was really abrupt having those 2 things one after the other. And I think there could have been a segment or 2 between them because it didn't quite gel. It didn't quite work. Todd, is that enough time for you to remember what you were going to do?
Not really, but it's fine. I wish I had one off the top of my head that I could use. I have stuff, but I can't talk anything about them, so I just, you know what I mean? It's one of the things where I cannot say this. If I do, I'm in a lot of trouble.
Well, when Andy from Bob Banter, when in doubt, Hulk Hogan is always my chicken shit. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, 100%. That's a good. I think Benjamin Shelton agrees with you.
Benjamin Shelton, that's a pretty good chicken shit. But with the shit comes the salad, and we made chicken salad this week. Jamie, what did you enjoy?
So I watched the Killer Cross pseudo documentary from Mania Weekend on YouTube. It is actually fantastic. Like, it's clearly work shoot style where there's some like actual real personal moments in it, but the storyline elements that they kind of work into it as well, really well done and really well produced.
Todd, what did you? What rocked you?
I've got a couple of chicken salads. How's that? Like, I don't have any chicken shits. I have a couple of chicken salads. How uncharacteristic is that of me? My first one is one, like, I was watching NXT this week, and they were doing is it Miles Bourne who won the Battle Royal?
Yeah.
And they were doing the thing where, like, he set it up and he said, look, if Dempsey can beat you, maybe you can be in the three-way. And Obi just cuts him out and goes, no, I don't want to do three-ways anymore. I'm like, oh, you just spoke for the entire wrestling audience at the moment. Like, we are sick of seeing three-ways for that title. Give him a one-on-one match. I'm like, oh, I think the writers are actually listening to people.
Yeah.
So I love that. And my second one is probably a bit of a personal one. I've just been seeing, like, video. I've been talking to him every day, seeing Mitch Ryder, who's over in Japan at the moment, really, really kicking some goals in the matches he's been doing. I've been bugging him for links for matches as soon as he finishes them, so I can watch what he's doing over there. Really, really doing good. So I'm uber proud of that kid.
I'll get on to mine in a minute. And Todd, that is a beautiful, beautiful chicken salad. That second one. Really, really happy to hear it. Some here, they're a bit out of sight, out of mind, says Andy from Bob Vance. But congrats to New Horizons in Perth for booking Tali versus Tessa under their Indie Girls banner. It's a cool outcome for all involved. Yes, it is. Chicken salad from Alex Fireheart. Hoorah. House of Torture. Out of Bullet Club. Chicken shit. Jesus Christ, that took way too long. Yes, it did. My chicken salad is something we briefly discussed before we came on air, and that is the main event of NXT this week was a fucking wonderful match between Jordan
Grace. You know how
Grace.
close I was to stealing that from you just to see the look on your face?
You knew.
I was so close to doing it.
Because I had one in reserve. But it was an absolute banger between Julia and Jordan Grace. Like, literally, they beat the shit out of each other and looked like they were having the time of their lives doing it. There was one moment that a few people were really upset about what it looked like. Jordan fell on her neck, but she's fine. She was doing that shit in Stardom for years.
Apparently after the match, like backstage, Julie was saying she wants to work Jordan again just because she loves getting beaten up like that.
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me after seeing some of her Stardom stuff.
Yeah.
No.
She's a maniac.
Watch particularly the era where she turned heel and shaved her head. Because that is the era where she was fucking rough as guts, man. She was going out there and just beat. They used to put her in with the young girls quite often so she could beat the shit out of them and say, you still want to wrestle? Come back. Come back.
That reminds me of like a story time we talked. It reminds me when Demi first.
Can I just
finish your thing?
Talk about this match. It's about 15 minutes and it is some of the best stuff you'll see. And Jordan won. So Jordan gets Stephanie Vaquer at the next NXT major show in a couple of weeks on the Sunday. Really, really good show. Like, really good. NXT are pulling out some fucking amazing shows, show after show, quite regularly. Todd, over to you. Sorry, mate. Thanks for that.
Yeah, no, you're perfectly right. When the first time that Demi went to Japan, she came back, and I think it was like a first or second match back. A couple of the girls came backstage and go, can you tell her to stop with that Japanese bullshit? She's kicking her ass out there. We're just like, look, this is what she's been trained to do now.
Yeah.
She's going to kick the hell out of you.
And
that's another one too. Like, I finally got around to watching some of those Stephanie's places.
Yeah, they're not
and
bad.
the one with Rhea, because like I know Rhea, really, really good to watch. Really nice to watch.
Yeah.
And really just like her detailing her struggles with like her identity and wanting to be herself and all of that sort of stuff was really like, it was really interesting to watch as someone who knows her as well.
It was nice. Also, there's a really nice clip that's doing the rounds of the West Australian interviewing the Journo from the West interviewing Grayson Waller and Rhea Ripley. And he's clearly a fan, so he's clearly really enjoying it. And so are Waller and Ripley. They're having a lot of fun with this. It runs about 28 minutes, so it's on YouTube, so check it out. It's a bit of fun. Speaking of a bit of fun, this show is always a bit of fun every Thursday night here. Join us at twitch.tv/WrestleRadioAU. As Alex Fireheart's done, as Nick Galea's done, as Andy from Bob Vance has done, and as Matt and Chat has done, and Matt's not here this week. I hope you're okay, Matt Hustwaite. Also, while you're doing
Alex
that...
Fireheart as well. Don't leave Alex out.
Oh, Alex Fireheart, of course. Didn't I say Alex first?
No, you did not.
Oh, I meant to. I apologize, Alex. Alex has said, reminds them of the complaints Thunder Rosa got about being too stiff or something, and women who'd worked in Japan had no complaints. Absolutely.
No.
Something that also people won't complain about is following us on our socials. You can follow the show at Wrestle Radio AU or at Wrestle Radio Australia. You can follow Jamie Apps at Jamie Apps Media, at Oz Rest Cards, at Pario Media. Am I missing any, Jamie?
That's all.
That's all. That's it. You can follow Beastie at Beast Eastman on your Twitter and Instagram and other things. You can follow me at Wrestle_Brania or at WrestleBrania, Facebook, Instagram, and X, as well as we are now on the TikToks. So you can go and watch some of our action on the TikTok and see some of our fun.
WrestleBrania. I was like, we're on TikTok?
WrestleBrania. No, we're not on TikTok, Todd.
It was a genuine shock. I'm like, we're on TikTok now?
Who said
But I do like the alliteration of saying...
up?
I do like the alliteration of saying, no, we're not on TikTok, Todd. So I guess that brings us to the end of this show. We're just over 2 hours. Anything to add, boys?
No. Go out and enjoy your local pro wrestling. There is nothing like seeing it. Like I know we say it a lot, and a lot of this stuff is free on YouTube, but it does not beat the experience of seeing it live. Go out and support your local promotions. If you see a poster up somewhere, go and find it. Check them out. Like if you see guys on the poster, if you listen to this show, you know who the reputable people are in Australian wrestling. You know the good Australian wrestlers. You see them on a poster, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a good show. And nothing beats the experience of seeing pro wrestling live. Good pro wrestling live. Not bad pro wrestling is probably good too sometimes, but it's a different type of entertainment, I guess.
And on that note, thank you very much, Beastie. Thank you very much, Jamie. We'll be back next week where we are looking at, you popped it in the chat,
ACW.
Yeah,
New
we're looking at
breed, I think, or new something like that. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to look at the relaunch of ACW. The guys and girls over there are doing some really good stuff with that promotion, and looks like it could be a emerging promotion in like it was already doing really well where it was sort of like in the ecosystem of South Australian wrestling, but with the people that are like spearheading it now, it's got a real chance to do some really, really cool stuff in South Australian wrestling. So we're going to check that show out and we'll review it next week. It is free on YouTube. ACW, Adelaide Championship Wrestling. Go and check it out if you want to watch it before we talk about it tomorrow next week.
Thank you very much, Todd. We look forward to seeing you all next week. So for Dad and Uncle Jamie, I've been Jeff. Catch your ass down the road.
Here I was, blaming AEW for feeding you chicken shit, knowing you mindless millennials would be eating it up as if it were chicken salad, when it's really been your fault all along.
Make chicken salad out of chicken.